Yo, 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 welcome to Shoot Sessions, first episode. I'm your host, OJ, with the coolest motherfucker on the planet, Doza.
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well, dude. I'm very excited to do this.
I am too. I've been waiting to do this.
We've been talking about this for months. We've been prepping for this. We're here to talk anything and everything WWE, a little bit of NXT. We'll throw in some indies.
NXT.
Anything wrestling. I'll get you an NXT.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
I hope so.
Don't worry about it. All right. Well, we are here to talk about SummerSlam. SummerSlam preview this Sunday, August 23rd. 4-hour show, man. 4-hour show.
That's the first time they did that, right? I think
for
that's why they're making it such a big deal.
For SummerSlam, yeah. I had the 10 match card. You know, it's pretty nuts, man. They got a whole thing going.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Pretty excited about it. We'll run down all the matches. We'll give our predictions, which sometimes are right, sometimes are wrong, but we'll see. You know, we'll go.
Cool. I can't wait to do that and match up with you. We're gonna talk about it like after. Like, oh yeah, I was better. We're gonna count it down. I was right.
Oh, we're gonna count now. We're gonna have a count. All right. Well, for those of you just tuning in, again, this is our very first episode. Very excited to be here. Every week, we're gonna bring some WWE action to you. This week's SummerSlam preview. Next week, a review. And everything in between. We're going to talk about the history of WWE, our favorite matches, dream matches, you name it. You know, you can follow us on Twitter at Shoot Sessions, Instagram at Shoot Sessions. You can even send us an email, ask us some questions, comments, shootsessions@gmail.com. Let's get into this shit, man.
All right, man. Let's do it.
All right. So, SummerSlam again, August 23rd. Let's start off with the first match. I don't know what's going to open, but let's start it off.
Okay.
Wyatt family, Shield.
That's
part of it.
Would
actually.
that be the first match?
I doubt it.
That
It's probably gonna be something down the line. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited about Bray Wyatt again being a pay-per-view. I love this guy.
I know, man. You always talk about how much you like the Fireflies, and even though he's a heel, I like his ass too. Like,
you know what? Speaking of that, I don't even know who's a heel anymore. You know, like Brock Lesnar is supposed to be a heel. We'll talk about that later on the show, but he's no heel. You know, there's so many people that are supposed to be booed. And they're
I don't think I ever hear boos for Wyatt just because he's like the best mic guy. And
oh man, bar none right now.
He has the best entrance, I guess.
Oh,
and like
I know I'm a Firefly.
Yeah,
you know I'm a Firefly.
He's and I like his moves and all this shit, and his stable is awesome. He has the nicest gimmick, like the new kind of dead man thing.
Yeah. The thing about the Wyatt family is I was kind of upset that they've been around for 2.5 years, something like that, and they haven't gotten a title. Well, I mean, Luke Harper was Intercontinental title holder, but they
I remember that.
I was expecting them to get tag team titles. I was expecting Bray to be some sort of in the mix, not even with heavyweight, but at least with the Intercontinental title, U.S. title.
Man, that's strange. Anything. Luke Harper got it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and with Eric Rowan being out, now you got a 2-on-2. On the other side, you got part of the Shield, 2/3 of the original Shield. You got Roman Reigns and you got Dean Ambrose. Obviously, Seth Rollins kind of probably doesn't want to be in the Shield right now. So, we'll settle with Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. What do you think about this matchup? You think it's been done too much?
Do what? No,
you think
absolutely not. I think anytime these guys wrestle, it's always a good thing. I'm liking, Reigns had that run a while back where people were not liking him too much, but then now that he's kind of eased up and they're like kind of not pushing him as hard, he's getting back into my good graces, and I get excited to see him. And Ambrose, I've always been a fan of him, and like when he went solo, I think he was my favorite one that came out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about him at first. When he first came out, I mean, I know the whole unstable thing and that he has, and he had a great ambulance match a few weeks ago. He's a great competitor, great wrestler. I didn't know at first, but he's turned me around. He's a good worker. So I'm glad that he's getting his push that he is.
Yeah, me too. Because when he was in the Shield, I looked at him as the odd man out, even though like he had the Intercontinental title, I think, at one point. Yeah. And the rest, they were just. Yeah. And Reigns was supposed to be just like the bodyguard or whatever. He's the muscle, and then Rollins was the face, I guess, of it.
The one thing I am glad, though, is that they didn't give Reigns a title at WrestleMania. I know he was going for this push, and I know that everybody in upper management want him to be the title holder champion. I'm really glad they didn't because he was being booed. And I'm not saying that a bad guy shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Or a good guy should get it or whatnot. But, I mean, he wasn't ready. You got to agree with me. He was not ready at that point.
Absolutely. Like, people weren't impressed with this moveset, and I definitely wasn't. I was not impressed with his mic skills either. Like, he could not talk. And when you have guys like Rollins and Ambrose, that are a lot better speakers, and I mean, being honest, I think better wrestlers.
Yeah, fully agreed.
But he has that look, like a Triple H look. He's a big guy, but I like the way they booked the match. They made Brock dominate him. Yep. And he still looked strong at the end because even though he was getting his ass kicked, he was still hanging in there.
And he came back. Yeah. And, I know we're talking about SummerSlam, but Doza and I sometimes go off on tangents, so bear with us. That match was so great for so many reasons because, Brock dominated, so you're not going to take anything away from him. Roman Reigns came back, so it made him look like a better good guy. Yeah. But he was the one to be pinned by Seth Rollins, so Brock never really lost a title.
Yeah.
So that's what pissed me off about, the last matchup at Battleground because... Brock was going to take that if it wasn't for The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah. Dude, which I didn't expect at all. And, man, I want to, watch it again because I can't replicate how I felt when he appeared and I heard the gong.
Yeah.
I didn't think the feud was going to get resolved.
Yep.
And lo and behold, it said, 13 months later?
Yep.
That he comes out of nowhere.
That's what made it awesome. That's what made it awesome was because... you weren't expecting it, You were telling me before that you stood up and it got your attention.
Yeah,
that's what they did, man. They did a great job about doing that. So, Wyatt Shield, what do you predict? Tag team match. I was really hoping that Eric Rowan was going to be in the matchup. I kind of like how he grew on me along with Luke Harper's tag team. Remember couple weeks ago or actually a few months ago I was reading up and there was rumors that Sting was going to join the Shield if Eric Rowan was still there, but obviously Rowan's not there. And
that's crazy. I never heard that one.
It was nuts, man. But obviously it didn't happen, so we're just going to have a 2-on-2 matchup. What do you predict?
What do I predict? This is a tough match for me to pick because I really want the Wyatt family to look strong here, but I think they'd have to push Reigns and Ambrose over them. But, I don't see Reigns and Ambrose losing this.
I have to disagree with you. And I know we're keeping count, and we're going to talk about it next week. But
yes.
I just think that Bray Wyatt has lost too many pay-per-view matches. Even though this is a tag match, it's not for a title. It's not one-on-one. Bray Wyatt, like you said earlier, he's one of the best talkers. He's got a great moveset for a big man. He can move around. He's agile. That finishing move is fucking awesome, man. Sister Abigail is one of my favorite.
When he locks it in, I'm like,
moves ever.
Get excited.
When he got the Usos in it on a running Sister Abigail, that was nuts,
dude.
Man. That was nuts.
Oh, man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. I just think that the Wyatt family needs something, but I'm hoping that this will be a 2 or 3 pay-per-view matchup because I love their chemistry. I love the way that they fight each other. I love the way that they go at it. So I'm picking the Wyatts, but I'm hoping for an extended match.
Hey, but not to say you're saying they probably need this to look stronger. Bray, the last pay-per-view I think he lost was The Undertaker, and just to get that match already.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to win at WrestleMania. No way he was going to win at WrestleMania.
Oh man, I feel like they might have missed an opportunity to push Bray Wyatt to being the next superstar. If he beat The Undertaker.
Fully agreed, but
yeah.
These were in the cards because if he won, Brock Lesnar wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have come back and said, he's the one in 22-1. Paul Heyman wouldn't have anything to stand on if Bray Wyatt won. I understand why Undertaker won, and I fully agree with it. But Bray Wyatt needs a good pay-per-view win, not just against Chris Jericho.
Or
not just
Ryback
against
was the last one. And he's won against Ambrose. in their feud a while back with the ambulance match.
Yeah, but even then it wasn't a full-on feud. So this has been a good back and forth matchup, between the two teams. So can't wait to see it. So speaking of Ryback.
Yeah.
Ryback came back a couple weeks ago from being injured.
Oh, yeah.
He is your Intercontinental Champion. He battles The Miz and Big Show at SummerSlam this Sunday. What do you think? What's going on with this?
Dude, it's only logical they give it a Ryback.
I'm
they
assuming.
better not give it to the Big Show. And it'd be hilarious to me if Miz won it. But I think, we talked about it earlier before. Like, they kept the belt on him while he was injured, so it'd be kind of a waste if they gave it to somebody else.
Yeah, especially in this kind of matchup. If you want to push Ryback as a dominant champion, you're going to put him against people like Rusev or even Ziggler if he were to turn heel again. You can't. I mean, no offense. I like how the Miz has kind of grown on to me. He's a great talker. He's a great Miz TV, insert.
I like his segments.
Yeah. Big Show. Honestly, you can't talk enough about the Big Show. He's done what he's done for the industry as a big man is, can't be taken down in any way.
Yeah,
but
man. You think his career would be over by now, but
you can't put a title on him though, because not that he's old, but he has no backstory line. Where are you going to go from here? So of course you're going to give it a Ryback. I'm picking Ryback, just like you seem to be picking Ryback.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping in his next feud is going to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't know. If Ryback does win, like, who else is there? Well, I guess Rusev would be next, but they have the Ziggler thing going on.
Yeah.
And I don't see that getting resolved soon because they have Lana and Summer Rae involved in that. So, I don't see anyone else he could compete with unless who else would be there?
Well,
most people I know are in feuds already.
Yeah. But the end of SummerSlam, you're going to have a lot of ended feuds. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but Randy Orton, Sheamus. Sheamus is your Money in the Bank holder.
Oh, yeah.
You got Randy Orton who doesn't have bad matches. And he can make anyone look good. But Ryback needs one of those guys to fight. He can't be a dominant Intercontinental Champion if he's fighting someone like The Miz or
Big Show. Yeah,
if it's a U.S. title, not to take anything away from the U.S. title, it would make a little more sense. But your Intercontinental title holder is the second in line.
Yeah, that's the one that should be like the challenger.
Exactly.
The next in line, the number one contender to the belt. Or at least that's how they used to have it. From what I remember.
I mean, look at the champions in the past. You got
Shawn Michaels.
One of our favorites.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, battling Razor Ramon, like at WrestleMania 10. It was, it's that sort of,
Yeah, and that was the best match of that.
Yeah. They brought the ladder match. If it wasn't for them, there would be no ladder match as we know it today. But also you got Stone Cold, you got Triple H, you got The Rock. See, and that's the thing. Seth Rollins never went through the second tier rank, which is the Intercontinental title. You had Rock, who is probably the biggest star, the biggest
behind star out of wrestling, you would think. Yeah, probably.
Oh well, I mean, since that other guy with the something mania no longer exists.
The guy, the real American guy?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know where he went. He was there one day, gone the next.
I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah. I just think The Rock, whether or not he's the biggest, wrestler ever to grace the squared circle, he was still an Intercontinental title holder. Triple H, they battled. They had great battles. They had battles so good that you don't even remember who the heavyweight champion was.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about them. Stone Cold came in there, started becoming an Intercontinental title holder. Bret Hart. These are the kind of guys that you want to put together with your title. And then you got Ryback. And I'm sure that Ryback can be good, but you got to give him a good feud.
Is he going to be on that level?
Yep. You got to give him a good feud.
Man, okay, but if they put him against like an Orton or something, he still doesn't look strong enough. And I don't know if he's good enough coming off the injury or whatever.
Yeah. And his moveset.
Yeah, it's something not to be desired.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm picking Ryback.
Yeah, I'm going with Ryback.
All right, we'll see how that works on Sunday. So speaking of Randy Orton, he's fighting a little Irish man by the name of Sheamus, who seems to be holding some sort of briefcase.
Money in the Bank.
Which still confuses me how he won Money in the Bank.
I wonder what they're going to do with that.
I don't know who he would fight. Obviously, he's not going to cash it in on Seth Rollins. I can't see it.
I don't see that either.
You know, if Cena wins, I can see him cashing in.
Yeah, that's probably the only way.
You know, but again, Cena winning, you and I will have a very long conversation later on in the show about that. But Randy Orton, Sheamus. A couple weeks ago, RK out of nowhere. When Sheamus was
tried to money cash it in,
and that kind of started the the beginning of this feud towards the match at SummerSlam. They're both good workers. I think Sheamus was given the title earlier on in his career too early. I know that he was a very good friend of Triple H. That's why he got a push. Mm-hmm. Got the title a couple times. He did okay. Randy Orton's been title holder quite a bit. I love Randy Orton.
I do too.
I love Randy Orton.
Like, I know a lot of people might be tired of him already, but I mean, he's always impressed me with his work. I like his whole gimmick. I like his freaking move. Yep. The RKO.
Viper. He's always been good since since he first came in, third generation superstar. He's a great worker. This is gonna be a good match. I just want them to tell a story. For those of you out there that are gonna get to know me in the next few weeks, months, and years.
Yep.
I love storylines. I am a mark for storylines. I will jump up and down, cry, throw things for storylines. I also love great matches, but I need a story to be told in the ring. And although they're both good workers, what's the story? Like, what are they telling me?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, this feud was kind of just put together to me. There's no real build up to it. I mean, they've been facing off against each other recently, but I feel like it's a 4-hour show. You got to put them on, and they're gonna put on a pretty good show. I'm assuming. But then, am I looking forward to this match? Am I dying to see it? Like, no, not really.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
They just got to impress me.
Yeah, they're gonna put on a good match, like you said. But it's not gonna be 5-star quality. Throw it in the 3-star range. This is tough. As much as I want Orton to win, being a huge fan, I just think that Sheamus will be. He's a Money in the Bank holder. There would be no reason for him to kind of diminish his status as that holder. So I'm picking Sheamus to do some, dirty tricks to maybe.
I was thinking that too.
Maybe poke him with his mohawk or.
Because they make Randy Orton look like the more dominant wrestler, but Sheamus being the heel and shit, like, I'm sure he could get the win. He probably will win, in my opinion, but I think it'll be not clean. So we'll just see how that goes. If he beats him clean, then he'll look pretty strong. But then, you got to set up his Money in the Bank briefcase. Yeah. Like, I don't know where that's going, and I'm sure there's no real clear direction they're trying to go with that right now. So.
I agree. I don't think they have a very clear direction. They don't have someone that they can kind of push towards for him to be believable in getting it. Because right now, even if whoever wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship this weekend, I just can't see Sheamus as kind of going in and becoming champion that way. There's too many storylines on the back end that allow him to, or that don't allow him to kind of do that right now. Months down the line, maybe. A November, December pay-per-view.
It's still early. Like, Rollins, when he had it, I felt like he had it forever. Then here comes WrestleMania, and people were predicting that he would cash it in, and I was like, maybe he will too.
Yeah.
But then when he came out, I was fucking pumped.
Yeah, that was a great moment. Yeah. That was awesome. I love how they did it. you thought it was going to happen, and then all of a sudden it did happen. You're like, holy shit, it happened.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm glad that they didn't pin Brock to make it, because you got to have him be that dominant beast. So, it is what it is. I'm picking Sheamus for this one.
Oh, who am I picking? You know what? I'll just go with Orton. I can't.
It's one of those close your eyes and point it at a name.
People want to see an RKO, and he's gonna have to bring it.
Oh, I'm hoping for an RKO.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for an RKO better than the one at WrestleMania. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, when he was about to get curb stomped, but he threw Rollins in the air, and
that
was an amazing one. I didn't see that coming, and
was awesome.
I got out of my seat for that one.
And I just think Sheamus is too big of a guy to go on the top rope, come off for a splash and get RKO'd in the air. So it's just going to be a basic RKO, but I think Sheamus is going to do some dirty tricks and get the win. So you were talking, or we were talking a little bit about Rusev. So Rusev has had some good matches, some good feuds. He had the feud with John Cena, had the feud with Jack Swagger. Now he's in a feud with a gentleman by the name of Dolph Ziggler.
Yes.
He has lost his lady, though, Lana. Lovely, lovely Lana.
Lovely Lana.
Who is now in cahoots with Dolph Ziggler. They make a cute couple, don't they? You think? I mean,
Ziggler and Lana.
And Lana,
yeah, I guess so. But then, I mean, knowing behind the scenes, isn't like Rusev dating Lana?
Yeah.
So it was like, that's
weird.
And then some Rays in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't kind of thrown that in, but I'm glad. I'm glad that they kept the storyline as a storyline and not bring their personal, because you want to make Rusev dominant. When he had, the streak of no losses, no pins, it meant something. Like he went through everybody.
Yeah.
Became the U.S. title holder. Went through everybody again, and then he, of course, got stopped by a guy named John Cena. But everyone seems to get stopped by a guy named John Cena. So, Rusev is the more dominant, Bulgarian brute. You got Dolph Ziggler. Explain this to me.
I knew where you're going with this because I was going to bring it up too.
Explain this to me. Dolph Ziggler is one of the best workers in the industry today. Any promotion. Any promotion.
Yeah.
And yet, it seems like they just dangle a title in front of him. Then they dangle wins in front of him. They don't want to give him his due. What's up with that?
I don't get it either, because I remember this past Monday night when Rusev was having the match against Mark Henry, and then he beat Mark Henry's ass. Then Lana came in, and then they're about to go get into a big fight, and then Ziggler's music drops, and he gets the biggest pop out of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, they're excited to see his ass. Like, yeah, Ziggler. Yep. And he has the crowd. He's a great worker.
Yep.
You're right.
Talker.
They don't want to give him a major push, and I think the last major push they gave him was Survivor Series when he won the Team Cena match.
Yeah, which was a great match, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he took on, he was 1-on-3, I think, at the end, and he went on to win.
Big Show knocked out John Cena.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know where it's going. I keep on wanting them to give him titles to hold, but he just can't hold a title. It's like they don't want him to succeed, which I just don't understand. He's got the look, he's got the talent, he's got the talking.
Yeah.
He's got the whole package. I mean, he talks the talk and he walks the walk. But
I think this feud is just more about Lana and Rusev than it is with, Rusev against Ziggler.
Which now upsets me even more. Which, I mean, I never really thought about that. But why use someone like Ziggler as a stepping stone in a storyline? Like, use someone like Miz. Use someone like, bring back Tajiri. Bring back Funaki. Do that. Use them. But
I mean, you need someone relatively big because Rusev's already taken on John Cena, and you can't
where do you
have
go
him go down.
Yeah, where do you go from John Cena, man? That's insane.
Ziggler's, he does his job well, and his job is, if I'm gonna say right now, I think he's gonna lose.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to figure out what to do with Lana and Rusev, because I remember they turned Lana face because everyone loved Lana.
Yeah.
Because she's so hot. And
Yeah.
then, Rusev just...
Oh, I love me some
he was,
Lana. I actually follow Lana on Instagram and
really? Maybe I should follow her too.
Oh, I think you should follow her too.
Hey, Summer Rae's looking good too, man.
You
When
know-
she put on the
hey,
Lana
yeah.
outfit, I was like, oh my god. Like,
I'm kind of glad that they gave her something to do. I'm kind of glad that they gave her a storyline. She's done really well. I've seen her in NXT, and she has good matches. With good people. So I can't wait for her. And I heard that Lana's training to get into more
that's
matches.
what I'm like concerned about because
You know-
I remember she did that like freaking Shoryuken kick on on Summer Rae this past Raw, and I was like, whoa, where'd she learn how to do that?
Yeah, she's been in movies, man. So I'm pretty sure that she's been she's been taught a few things here and there. But I'm waiting for them to get into the ring. Hopefully soon. The Divas division is
Oh yeah.
up and coming. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
And-
But
wait.
for this match,
Let me think. Hold on.
What are you
You
thinking
remember
about?
when because Summer Rae beat Lana's ass and did the accolade? I
Yes.
just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was like, oh man, this is awesome. Like,
I like the accolade. I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
what is that? That's like
move.
what the Iron
It's,
Sheik used to do.
Iron Sheik. It's a Cobra Clutch.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
the
what it
Cobra
was.
It's a good move. I'm hoping that he has more of a finishing move instead of finishing submission. But it was cool to see Summer Rae do that.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was
yeah.
like, oh, damn.
Well, man, she got legs for days.
Yeah,
Legs
and
for
everyone
days.
loved Lana's legs, and then Summer Rae's in that outfit. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, but it's not Stacy Keibler.
oh, I don't think anyone's
level,
ever gonna be
but,
Stacy Keibler.
But she does have nice legs, though. I'm talking about Summer Rae, so I'm glad that they're bringing her along. So I'm picking Rusev for this match.
Yeah, I'm going Rusev. I feel like Ziggler is gonna lose this again. They're just gonna give him a big moment later down the line to keep him, in the eyes of the crowd.
Yeah.
But Rusev right now, he's probably the second biggest heel.
That's the thing, man. Well, you got Seth Rollins. He's technically the biggest heel, which
Yeah, and I don't count Triple H because
Well, the authority seems to me that it's going back and forth. Sometimes
sometimes they
sometimes
seem
they'll
like
be
they're good
heels,
guys.
but then Stephanie came out a few weeks ago, brought back
The
brought
Divas
in the Divas Revolution. That wasn't a heel
Yeah.
heel switch. That was a face turn.
You're right.
So and then the next week they go back to talking shit about some good guy, but well, you know what? Let's go ahead and hold off on the authority because I want to talk to you about that.
Okay,
I want to have a full segment on the authority. I have opinions. I want to hear your opinion on it. But back to SummerSlam. I'm picking Rusev. I think you're picking
I'm going
Rusev.
with Rusev.
I hope they put Ziggler in a better feud next time, or at least a more meaningful feud. But I can't wait for Rusev and Lana storyline to come out. So we talked about the Divas coming out.
Mm-hmm.
A few weeks ago, Stephanie comes out and announces to Nikki Bella, who is still currently your Divas champion, that they need some sort of change in the Divas division. They need some sort of revolution, per se.
Yep.
And they went on to bring out Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks. All from NXT. All great workers. So now you have technically 9 divas in this divas match coming up at SummerSlam, a 3-way 3-person tag team match.
Yeah.
Rules are 3 teams, 3 ladies each. One gets pinned, your whole team's out. So,
okay, I didn't read up on that,
well,
but that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was an elimination thing,
Yep,
but
it's a single elimination for each team. So we talk about this very much between the two of us, and now that you've joined us on Shoot Sessions, ladies and gentlemen, everybody needs to know that Doza's favorite diva is Paige.
Oh, the lovely Paige.
Who just celebrated a birthday
Yes.
this week. And
Happy birthday, Paige. From Doza.
I'll
If you ever see, if you ever listen to this podcast, just know I cared. Okay.
Paige, Doza thinks about you all the time. Let's just keep it at that.
I do. But
But I gotta admit, man, Paige was the one that really started. Well, her and AJ. Let's talk about AJ Lee.
yeah.
Her and AJ Lee had some great matches back and forth. They changed the title a couple times, but they
Yeah.
had some great matches. They had some great feuds. One match would be Paige is a bad guy, AJ's a good guy, good girl, vice versa on the next one.
Yeah, that kind of weirded me out. And then towards the end of their AJ's career, like they became like a team.
Yeah, frenemies.
And, like what's it called? I don't know, Freaks and Geeks. They called it that.
Man.
That was like their nickname.
Yeah, them
against the Bellas. And I thought that was perfect.
Well, even when AJ left, there was a picture that came up. I guess they were in AJ's city, or AJ was around, and Paige took a picture with AJ. Freaks and Geeks was the hashtag, and I think they had a great chemistry. I think they were good with each other. And I've told you this many times, but the Black Widow is one of my favorite submission holds.
The Black Widow's a cool ass move, man.
AJ Lee, man, she's one of my most favorite divas of all time, behind Lita, obviously, and Trish. But AJ could bring it, but Paige is bringing it, man. Paige's team is bringing it. So let's break it down. We got 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
You got Team Bellas, which is Nikki Bella, the champion, Brie Bella, and Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox. Still not sure about Alicia Fox as a wrestler, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of her yet.
Yeah, except for that crazy storyline that she had. But
and then that went away, which was like, okay.
Yeah, like it always kind of does. And then you got Team Bad, which stands for Beautiful and Dangerous. You have Sasha Banks, a newcomer, who is your NXT champion. Then you have Tamina, and you have Naomi. Mm-hmm. So there's not really a clear-cut leader of that group. I think Naomi is the one that's been talking a lot, but Sasha's been doing most of the matches.
In my mind, it's Sasha, but I guess, officially it's supposed to be Naomi.
Unless you're going to do a Nation of Domination turn where Sasha Banks...
she's like The Rock and Naomi's Farouk.
Yep. So, I mean, but that's down the line. I think they're doing a hell of a thing with this Divas Revolution. So the third team in this matchup is Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch.
Sorority. Submission sorority.
So they will always be submission sorority to me, but they are going by PCB, which I think is a stupid name. WWE really needs to think about these
things.
And
if whoever's listening to this, if you don't know what submission sorority is, please Google it.
Yes.
All the little kids Google it too.
Yes. Google it. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Just make sure your mom's not around.
Yes. Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Cool.
So you have 3 teams.
Yeah.
All great workers. I'm very impressed with this Divas division. When the Divas Revolution started and you had your 3 NXT women come in, what happened in the ring? There were 3 submissions. You had Charlotte with her figure 8, which we've talked about. It's a great finishing move. You had Becky Lynch, who has her version of an armbar.
Yeah. Not sure what it's called.
I forgot what it's called. I've seen it.
I know what she does.
And then Sasha.
Video on. I could probably do it on you. No, I'm just kidding. But.
Okay. When we start getting video in the next few weeks, you're gonna see Doza and I wrestle a lot. We'll
Stone Cold Stunners.
We'll get to that. I'll rock bottom you through this table right now. And then you had Sasha Banks with bank statement, which I am pretty impressed with that bank statement.
I like that. It's kind of like a crossface.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a modified backbreaker into a modified crossface.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good move. I was really hoping that they would put those 3 together, make them a team.
Yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen, but then, you need Paige and Naomi and Tamina were already there. And I guess the logical person to put with them was Sasha. She's kind of like the bad girl.
I guess. I mean, if we're... we're called shoot sessions for a reason, so we shoot the shit here. I mean, it just seemed a little funny how Sasha went into the team with other
2 black girls,
minorities. Let's just say. I'm not saying anything. I think it's a good fit. I think the whole bad thing was a good fit.
Yeah.
But that's one of the first things that came to my mind, though. It's just kind of funny. I mean,
I mean, it makes sense. And it's not. It'd be weird if Charlotte was in there.
Yeah,
that'd be really super weird.
It would be kind of weird. But I'm glad that speaking of NXT real quick, NXT is getting a lot of good feedback, a lot of good comments by other wrestlers, by wrestling fans. They tape it down there in Orlando. So NXT, for those of you that don't know, but you should know because you're listening to our podcast, you know everything about WWE, so that's what we're talking about.
Yep.
But NXT is technically their farm system, but a little tweak of what they used to do when they used to have their farm systems down in Florida. They're getting a lot of indie wrestlers, to Lexus Samoa Joe, even Neville, Finn Balor.
They have a pay-per-view, right?
They have a pay-per-view on Saturday. NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn. That is going to be a good matchup too.
Sasha has a title match.
Sasha has a title match.
I believe she's probably going to drop because on Raw, she was in that spot before, Lesnar came out.
Yeah.
They were, you remember that? They were saying, we want Lesnar in the middle of the match.
Which kind of was heartbreaking because, look, I wanted Lesnar to come out too, but, when your divas are out there, you got to you got to give them some time.
Give divas a chance thing a while back. And
which I give credit
to AJ
Lee.
Yeah, me too.
Credit to AJ.
So, and then,
what up, CM Punk?
Yeah. And now they're just waiting for Lesnar, which I get, you've been there for a while and you just want to see your hometown boy, but I would have, I was enjoying the match and
hey man, everyone just wants to go to Suplex City.
Yeah,
that's it. Everyone just wants to go to Suplex City. But I think the Divas match is going to be good. Prediction. What do you think?
I'm going with Team Bad. Like I was saying, I think they seem like the most dominant team. They have that dominant aura about them, and I think a win would do them well. And as long as Nikki doesn't drop the belt, the Bellas could lose this and they'd be fine.
Yeah.
And Paige, Charlotte, and Becky, they look really, really strong already with, especially with Charlotte because they're pushing her hard with that figure 8 and how she's Ric Flair's daughter and the most athletic diva.
Yep.
And
do it with Flair. You got to do it with Flair.
Yeah. And then, they just barely gave Becky her first singles match this past Raw.
Yeah.
On the Go Home show. So.
Yeah, and, they're all good workers. I think it's going to be a great match. The elimination is a good twist. Single elimination for each team. I'm picking PCB. I think they have. All of them have good workers, but I think they have the most dominant too with Paige and Charlotte. Like nothing taking nothing away from Becky Lynch, but Charlotte is going to be the star.
Yeah,
you got to see that.
I see it too, but then what? Sasha's going to be bigger than Tamina.
For sure.
Naomi, I think.
For sure.
Naomi might have peaked.
Yeah. What? Let me ask you a question since we're talking about divas.
Uh-huh.
Why don't they use Natalya?
I don't know. She's probably the best wrestler out of the divas. I mean, she comes from that whole Heart Foundation thing where her dad's Jim the Anvil, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart. You're part of a family with Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I mean, come on, you have a pedigree of, a lineage and a history of wrestling. You lived your whole life wrestling. You married a wrestler.
Yeah.
You're just, it's one of those things where I don't know, just, you bring out this Divas Revolution, and that's fine because you're bringing out a lot of younger ladies and stuff like that, and they're doing all real well. But throw out Natalya, man. Throw her a bone.
People just don't like her. Like if people that watch Total Divas, they're like, man, Natalya's a bitch.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, or they call her Natty.
I gotta start watching that.
I mean, I've seen only a few episodes, but then I was even like, man, she's such a bitch. I mean, I don't know her that well, and I don't want to really call her that. But I don't know if it's scripted or not. But then
that's
she's obviously the mean girl.
Yeah, you can ask 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people if Total Divas is scripted, and you're gonna get a different answer each time. So it's kind of hard to say that it is or isn't. I don't know if Natalya. Look, I follow a lot of wrestlers. I follow Natalya, on Instagram. I follow Natalya on other social networks, and maybe it's a facade, but the pictures that she puts up, she seems like a really cool chick, but again, could be all for, for show. But I really think that they should incorporate her somehow.
Well, I think it hurts that, Tyson's injured.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Shout out to Tyson.
Yeah.
You and
Shout out to
Cesaro
you.
were doing a hell of a
love
good
that
job,
tag
man, as a
team.
tag team. Get well soon.
Yeah, well, buddy.
You'll be back and better than ever. So, so speaking of Cesaro, let's go ahead and go into the Cesaro Kevin Owens match.
Okay.
Kevin Stein,
I'm
whatever
gonna
you want to call him.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be one of the breakout matches of the night.
Yeah.
This has the potential to be like better than
Oh, I agree.
a lot of these matches are. So, because Cesaro, he's always great. He's a great ring worker. Kevin Owens, I only knew him since he debuted, but he's been impressive, and I like him. I like his attitude as a heel. I like his moves. He just seems like a powerful guy. And he beat John Cena.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's another thing too. Is you and I talk extensively about John Cena. For those of you out there that are listening, Doza and I have many conversations about John Cena. We argue about John Cena. We have different thoughts and views on John Cena. As a person, I think we're both in agreement that he's a hell of a guy.
Yep.
He just recently did his 500th wish for Make-A-Wish.
Dang,
and
500.
Yep, he hosted the Today Show for the second time in a week. He hosted it actually yesterday. But he did his 500th wish. I mean, the guy's a superstar when it comes to Make-A-Wish, when it comes to outside stuff. But we're talking in the ring, man. We're talking about the squared circle. We're talking about the history of WWE, WWF, WWF. We go back. John Cena is your typical good guy. I just wish that he had a heel run. I think that he could have done really well with a heel run, with everyone booing him, with everyone, wanting that heel turn. I don't know if it was because everyone wanted the heel turn that they didn't turn it. So in essence, you made him a heel that way, but
I guess I never thought about that, because that might be right. Because when Hogan turned heel,
who?
I mean, that I'm not good. We can't erase him from history, but
as wrestling fans, you can't.
When Hogan turned heel, because that was huge.
Yeah.
Most people still thought wrestling was real.
Yeah.
So now that you have like smart marks and shit,
Yeah.
that are like, hey, turn heel, like, oh well, I guess it'll lose its appeal.
Yeah.
Kind of, but
Yeah.
I would like to see a heel Cena. He's only been heel once in his career, and then the rest he's been face. And you can't have, let's say, like a really bad heel.
Yeah.
Doing Make-A-Wish things. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you can. I guess.
I get that. I get the fact that it would diminish his role as an outside person on WWE, and he is right now the face of WWE. I mean, you got to admit, with Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H in the background, with them guys kind of being away from the business, Cena is your face of the franchise.
Yeah, I think most people, if you just grab somebody that doesn't know wrestling, they'll be like, hey, John Cena, that's that wrestler guy. Or if they watch Trainwreck, they'll be like, hey, that's the wrestler guy.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, he's one of the few that has transcended over onto movies and onto other things other than wrestling. I get it. I understand why they do that. But, come on, WWE. Give us a heel turn, even if for a day. Just make him turn heel at a live show in Los Angeles where we can go see it live.
Dude, that'd be the craziest thing if we were there.
Oh yeah, to see his one day heel turn.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet. Tell our kids about it. So we always get off topic here. We were talking about Cesaro and Kevin Owens. I don't even know how we got onto the topic of John Cena, but anyway, so we got Kevin Owens, former NXT champion, who has beaten John Cena in a pay-per-view match against Cesaro, who's one of the great workers. It's gonna be a good match.
Yeah, this is gonna be an underrated match. Or people are looking more forward to like Lesnar and Undertaker. And I guess Green Arrow against other fools. But I'm looking forward to this match a lot. Like when this match comes on, I'm gonna sit down and not go to the bathroom. I'm gonna watch this shit. Like,
yeah, this is not gonna be one of those bathroom break matches, but. I'm hoping that they give it to Kevin Owens just because I think Cesaro really doesn't need a win. Kevin Owens, was having a really, really good push, and then he got stopped by John Cena, which doesn't surprise me. But, Kevin Owens needs to win a big match, and I think this is a big match for him. That'll bring him back into a title picture. Whether it's the Intercontinental title or the U.S. title again. Yeah. I just think Kevin Owens should win, and I think he will win.
I'm going to totally agree with you on this one because Cesaro won't get hurt that bad by a loss, but Kevin Owens would.
Yeah.
And he's the new guy, and people like him. So if you're smart, you'd want to give it to him.
Yeah.
But you never know, because I guess the guy behind the scenes that I was thinking about that there's rumors that is trying to stop his pushes. His name is like Kevin Dunn.
Oh yeah, the producer Kevin Dunn. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a word on the street. I don't know if that's true. And
well, there was talk about this whole remark that Randy Orton gave to Kevin Owens a couple weeks back.
Oh, yeah, talking about how he's fat or something.
A few shows back. So it was out on rumors that Randy Orton was fed that.
By Kevin Dunn.
To say that, and then of course it was denied. So who knows? It could have been fed to Randy Orton. It could not been. I don't know. But
because it's a difference. Like if you're just making it up like a shoot or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. But then when it's scripted to make fun of his weight, like that becomes an issue.
Yeah. So we'll see where that part goes. I'm really hoping they give it to Kevin Owens. Because I think that he would benefit more than Cesaro. But I think it's going to be a good match. I think they're going to give him a good 20 or so minutes. I'm really hoping they give him about 20 or so minutes.
It's a long match.
But at the end of it, you're going to see a pop-up powerbomb, 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. So I'm going with Kevin Owens.
I really like that move.
Oh, yeah, the pop-up powerbomb?
I've seen a lot of power bombs. I love a power bomb. I liked when Diesel did it and all this crap.
Oh, and Batista did it.
Yeah, I liked Batista bombs, but then he has this spin on it where he throws them up, and when he does it to like Cena, and Cena's a humongous guy, like, so it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive. So I think it's going to be a good match. So I can't wait for that. Looking forward to that. So you mentioned earlier about this Green Arrow character. Let's go ahead and talk about that as our next match of the night. Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett. Quick note.
It's Cosmic King.
Is it Cosmic
well,
King?
No, they I don't know what they did, if they're gonna rename him, but they if you saw that promo they did on Raw where he crowned him the Cosmic King, or I just make him like more goony as
fuck.
I don't know.
I just think that it went with the whole King Barrett thing.
Yeah.
Quick note, I was reading up on the interwebs and read a particular funny story about Wade Barrett. So formerly known as Wade Barrett, now known as King Barrett. They, when I mean they, WWE as management, they banned the name Wade for whatever reason.
What?
They banned the name Wade.
Why?
I don't know. But which makes sense if that is the case, then obviously you can't use Wade Barrett. Now it's King Barrett. I don't know how much he can be King Barrett if the next King of the Ring gets crowned or he loses crown or whatever.
Just go back to bad news. I love the bad news.
Yeah. I didn't like the whole computer thing when it was first being done, but yeah, when Barrett would come out and I've got some bad news.
I'm like, hell yeah.
That was good.
Well, what were you saying? Like you read something and then
about
Wade was banned.
Yeah, so they banned the name Wade for whatever reason. Didn't really look it up too much, but I just think it was kind of funny.
Man, that's got to be a weird story.
I'm pretty sure there's a good backstory to it. But in any case, you got a tag team match a couple weeks ago on Raw. You saw Stephen Amell get physical with Stardust, Cosmic King, whatever you want to call him. Cody Rhodes. But that was a hell of a great jump over the ring, spear.
Yeah.
I mean that
he showed his athletic prowess, and he did me proud. I'm like, that's right, Green Arrow, get Stardust, because man, they've been building up this feud for like a while, and they're making Stardust seem like a fucking comic book character, and I'm really liking it. So, and I'm finally glad that they announced the match a couple weeks back, because you didn't know if he was gonna have a match, and he's a fucking actor. Like, when's the last time like an actor really had a match?
Yeah, well, when was the last time an actor had a good match? That's rarely is being done. But the good thing about Stephen Amell, and we've talked about this, he's the Green Arrow. On TV, and he trains well. But the thing I love about this guy is he's a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah,
he loves the business. He got so excited to tweet about it after his appearance on Raw. This guy loves the business. He did a great backstage promo with Triple H. I'm glad Triple H was able to do that with him. Made me believe that he wanted to get paper signed and kick some ass.
I call my lawyers or whatever, make the match.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, come on, Green Arrow. So I would like to see like if he does like a body slam on somebody. That'd be amazing. But
yeah,
those guys are a lot bigger than him.
Yeah. Well, Neville's going to take most of the match, most of the brunt of it.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a hot tag to Stephen Amell. I think Stephen Amell is going to have the pin, probably on Stardust, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was King Barrett. I'm going with Amell, and I'm going with the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow.
I'm going Green Arrow, Red Arrow as well. Like you can't have your guests lose.
Nope, not in that case. Nope. So, speaking of tag teams, we have a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship with Primetime Players, who are your current champions, Lucha Dragons, New Day, and Los Matadores. This is a tough one to call. I like Primetime Players.
Well, I'm not going Los Matadores.
Well, technically, then it's a triple threat match because I can't see them winning.
I like the Lucha guys. I like their whole when they put their hands up, Lucha, then the fucking crowd does it. I'm like,
it's always good to see the crowd into something. It's always good when the crowd is really like pumped up and stuff. I see it between New Day and Primetime Players. I think they're gonna keep it on Primetime Players. I hope New Day gets it. I like them as a quote unquote tag team since there's 3 of them. If you want to call them a stable instead, but
I guess so. They do count as a stable. I guess.
But I'm going with Primetime Players. You have them as champions. They're pretty good champions. They're fighting champions. They're all over the place, man. Again, I follow a lot of wrestlers on Twitter, and I follow a lot of wrestlers on Instagram, and they're everywhere. They're visiting a lot of spots, so they're popular. They're out there. So I'm going with them.
I guess I'm gonna have to go with New Day because I don't see the Primetime Players have held that belt for quite a long time, and if they win, I don't know what more you could do with them. They beat the New Day too many times, and you need to have some kind of interesting thing, unless the Usos come back or someone makes a surprise appearance.
One of us is gonna say it. The Usos been out for a while. The Usos has been out for quite a long while, so you're just waiting for them to kind of come into this tag team drama, and what better time to do it than a Fatal 4-Way tag team match?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I like what they're doing with their tag team division. There is there's a tag team in NXT who is actually I think fighting this weekend at NXT Takeover, the Vaudevillains. And if you've never seen the Vaudevillains on NXT, they got a great background. So
you think they might get called up?
Maybe. Right now the champions are down there, Blake and Murphy. I wouldn't be surprised if they're called up, but like the Ascension, like they were called up. They were high. They were high on them, and they're not even in this tag team match. Because
that gimmick's stupid.
Well, I agree, but at the same time, that's what NXT's for. NXT's for you to tell them, I don't think it's going to work on the main roster. Either that or don't put them on the main roster.
Were they the Ascension on NXT?
The Ascension were the tag team champions. They were the tag team champions for a while. Down in NXT.
Promos like the corny ass promos they had.
I'm
sure they're
but
great.
they're a great tag team.
Yeah.
They're a great tag team, but you're going to bring them up to the main roster, and you're going to basically throw them out like that. You know what's going to happen.
And they had. I don't even remember the last segment. It might have been when they went against the New Age Outlaws. Just the last I remember them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm always gonna love them.
Oh yeah.
Because they're DX. But.
Yeah. Love the New Age Outlaws. But it's a good segment. We'll talk about Attitude Era. We'll have a whole thing.
Let me say this: like the Luchas, they're. They could probably take it too, but I just don't see them being champions because they can't cut promos and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they have, man, the crowd loves them, and I do too. And
yeah, well, they're good. They're good move sets. They're exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But even the Usos were exciting. They didn't talk much, but they were champions.
Oh, they talked about what? Wait, how's it? The intro where they like.
You know what? I'm not even gonna try because I probably can't even pronounce any of that.
I'm gonna try to do it next week then.
Once you practice for next week.
Because I remember my brothers used like Hawaiian shit too, and they were watching it with me like, hey, they're doing the fucking whatever it's called, shaka. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. So your job for next week is to practice that, and we'll try to get video up on Doza and put it on all our social medias, and that'll be fun to watch.
Oh, geez. Already making a fool out of myself. One episode in.
All right. So, we've talked about 8 matches, Doza.
Oh, wow.
And we haven't even gotten to the nitty-gritty. We haven't even gotten to the meat of this. We haven't even gotten to the matches that are going to matter the most. You got a co-main event. Well, hasn't been announced, but I'm thinking it's a co-main event. You have Lesnar and Undertaker.
Yeah.
Which is...
that's the main event. That's got to be the main event.
But then you also have the championship. You can't diminish a championship, from 2 other guys as popular as they are and as popular as the match is, and everyone wants to see it. I've been wanting to see this since Undertaker got pinned, 13 months ago. I knew it was going to happen somewhere down the line, and it made me want him even more, and I salivated for this when they went at it on Raw, and they had... all the B players holding them back, and you had Undertaker, and you had Brock Lesnar, and you had carnage and chaos. But you're really gonna put that over the heavyweight championship match?
I think they already announced it that night, the main event, SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar, and if they want a co-main event, fine. But then whoever's last, that's the main event.
Agreed.
So
agreed.
I'm thinking they're gonna go Lesnar and Undertaker, because even the casual wrestling fans know.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. Co-main eventing is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they do it in UFC. I don't care if they do it in WWE. Co-main eventing is bullshit because if you're on last, you're the main event. You're the people. You're the match that people want to see.
Yeah.
So if you are right about Brock Lesnar and Undertaker going last, I mean, what does that do to the championship match? You not only have a WWE Heavyweight Championship match, but you're throwing the U.S. title on there. You have 2 main event tier people. You have John Cena. You have Seth Rollins going at it. And that's not going to be the main event. Either SummerSlam is that good of a pay-per-view where you have 2 exciting matches, or you're diminishing the championship.
I don't know about diminishing it. Well, people know that that title should be Lesnar's.
Yeah.
And those guys are so much booked more dominant than anyone else.
Yeah.
They had that, that thing you just mentioned where all the B players were trying to hold them back, and that shit didn't work.
Yep.
They're looking like giants among them. It'd be wrong for them to go before Cena and Rollins when we know Undertaker and Lesnar would fucking wipe the floor with those guys.
I fully agree. So let's agree that the main event is going to be Brock Lesnar and Undertaker. So let's go ahead and talk about this championship match.
All right.
So you got Seth Rollins, you got John Cena. A couple weeks ago, what does Seth Rollins do? Breaks John Cena's nose.
Yeah.
And that was gruesome.
Oh, man.
For those of you
went.
that didn't see pictures or haven't seen pictures, Google it.
Google that too.
Google it.
After submission sorority.
Yeah, all you kids,
that.
Google it. It's a sight to see. Protect your nose at all times, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a good match. I'm excited for it. I think Seth Rollins has been a good champion. like a good heel champion.
I think so too.
You know, I've heard from many different people. I've heard from people I've talked to, people in the industry that, you know, Seth Rollins isn't bringing it. He, you know,
what?
And you know, he isn't that good of a champion. People hate him. People hate this guy,
as
which is
a champion.
No,
or
people hate him. That's why he's a good champion. He's a great heel champion.
Yeah.
You know, if
he
he's
comes
not
out, he
hated,
gets booed. I love it.
Exactly. He says all the shit that you don't want to say, or he says all the shit that makes people pissed off.
Yeah. And he has funny promos, and like the way he became a heel was a great heel turn also. Like,
awesome.
Turning on the Shield, that was amazing.
Awesome. You can't script it any better.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, you have a main event going on, and you put in your money in the bank, you cash it in, and you become the champion.
And the lasting image is just him running up the ramp like, yeah.
How is that not the greatest heel turn ever? So, you know, it is what it is. I think this match is going to be decided by a no count out or a disqualification or something like that. I just can't see the title being titles being on one person.
I don't see. Yeah. Well, I don't see Cena winning because that'd be kind of a waste.
Yeah. But then again,
Rollins, I like it on Rollins, but then you know, someone has to beat Rollins eventually because they're not making him look that strong. But he's had good matches against Cena and stuff. He looks like he stacks up well against him. But then in the end, Cena always wins. So
that's the thing. And let's take it both scenarios. If Cena wins, what I'm predicting is he becomes your 16-time world champion. He ties Ric Flair for most championships, and he has brought it up. He has brought it up on social media. He has brought it up, I believe, in promos. And he does think about it, you know, or at least it's being thrown out there. Up until this point, nobody's talked about it. You know, Cena didn't want to bring up that he was one step away from tying Ric Flair as the most championships by one man.
Yeah.
But now he said it. He said it. He put it out there. I think it's going to happen. If it does happen, you do a U.S. title open challenge like he did before. But where do you go as champion? If you're Cena and you're champion, who do you fight? Brock Lesnar again?
No, man, because I don't see their feud ending unless he wants to get in there. Which, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he wins again. Like, there's no one rightfully there to challenge him, unless like I don't see. Let's see, if Cena wins cleanly, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see how it'd be beneficial to a storyline.
Yeah,
that's why logically it would probably have to go to Seth Rollins to me.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna change my answer. I'm going to say Seth Rollins. I'm going to say that Kane comes back. I'm going to say that Kane comes back, tries to cost Rollins the match. Mm-hmm. Rollins somehow reverses it, becomes champion, and like a quick feud between Kane and Seth Rollins happens. You don't take anything away from John Cena. He's still a great champion. He's still the U.S. Well, he wouldn't be the U.S. title holder.
Yeah.
But he's still a great champion in his own right. You can put him in any feud, and he'll go at it.
Yeah.
I just think taking the belt off Seth Rollins right now will take away his WrestleMania win.
Yeah, good point.
You know, but
that's why I think if they just ended in disqualification, like that way the belts don't change, right?
Usually belt don't change rules. Unless there's a no disqualification, call out. But there hasn't been one. Who knows?
Yeah,
the authority might say
like
something.
Something interesting has to happen during that match because Cena's so like dominant.
Yeah,
like J&J or something has to come out.
Someone has to come out.
Or like fucking Roman Reigns.
But and we talked about this. Yeah. Doza's smiling right now because we talked about this earlier. I want to predict a Shield reunion, but a heel, like a true heel Shield reunion. They were heel when they first came out for about a year, and then they just started becoming face. They just started becoming popular. Everyone started liking them.
Yeah.
You know, the going through the crowd was really cool, kind of like how Edge did it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just turned face. And, you know, you couldn't go anywhere, you know, but to turn one of them heel. But imagine Roman Reigns coming out spearing John Cena.
Oh man, that'd be crazy.
Imagine this: Roman Reigns spearing John Cena. Seth Rollins is beside himself, doesn't know what to do. Roman Reigns looks at Seth Rollins, gives him the nod, gets out of the ring. Dean Ambrose comes out, gets into the ring, starts talking shit to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and him were about to fight. Dean Ambrose turns around, does dirty deeds on John Cena. Boom, Shield reunion. I want to call it. I want to call it right. I should write for WWE.
You had the picture perfect memory right there. Like, okay, that's in my head now. Like, if you get that, if that happens the way you said it, I will give you even if I win most of these predictions, I will give you that. Like, you'd win. But yeah, that'd be fucking crazy.
That's what we do here.
And then if you do that, like, Cena has somebody to feud with, like Reigns, and they're pretty much that's a great matchup.
You got a feud for months. You got Seth Rollins, who now is still champion. He'll take the U.S. title, or you know what? Put in disqualification, but you turn the Shield heel. Yeah. Or you turn the Shield heel. You have Seth Rollins now. You have two brothers in arms protecting him. You don't need Kane. You know what? Kane can even come out, try to, screw with Seth Rollins. So you have John Cena and Kane, and then, the Shield. You have so many possibilities. So many Come on, WWE. I know you're listening to this podcast.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Get with our storylines. We'll write for you for free. Just put our names on the
not for free. Oh, he will write for you.
I'll write for free and just take Doza's checks. But this brings us to our last matchup, main event. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. That's gonna be a fight, man.
This is what I've been waiting for this forever.
That's gonna be a fight.
See a rematch, because I'm like, man, Undertaker has to rematch Lesnar sometime.
Yeah.
And, is it true that he's never won a singles match against Lesnar? I think that was what
he has never won a singles match against Lesnar.
Because I remember
on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, they've had Hell in the Cells.
Yes, on a pay-per-view.
He's beat him in the Hell in the Cell.
Yep.
Like, oh shit.
Yep.
You just never think he'd beat him at WrestleMania. That's what it was.
Well, and that's what made it so good.
Yeah.
That's what made it so awesome, is that you did not expect it. The image of that one guy with his eyes wide open will be forever cemented in my brain, because he is like the true mark of what WWE fans are. And this guy was so in shock by a match that was predetermined, but that's how much WWE gets to people.
When they do
that's why we love this business.
They show the promo videos of like what's building up to the match and stuff, like, and then they show Undertaker losing, and they show the crowd reaction, but they don't show that guy, because man, if they show that guy, everyone would just start laughing.
It's it's always gonna be in my mind. But I think
guy.
I think I've gone both ways on this. You and I have talked about this extensively. It can go either way. If you give it a Brock, you make Brock look like a beast. But do you kind of put Undertaker, closer to retirement by then? If you have Undertaker win, does it diminish the 21 at the time, 21-1, win at WrestleMania for Brock Lesnar? So there's so many things. I'm thinking, because on the go-home show on Raw, Undertaker kicks him in the nuts, choke slams him, tombstones him, does the knee thing with the light coming down. I'm thinking Brock Lesnar is going to take revenge and win this match.
That's why that worried me, because he kicked him in the nuts again, and every time they've had an altercation, he's won it.
Yep.
So I'm like, that worries me, because I really want Undertaker to win this.
Yep.
And that's not a good sign in my mind that he's looking so, dominant against Lesnar.
Yeah.
But
I think it's gonna go to Lesnar somehow. I really hope the rumors are wrong about Paul Heyman doing a turn on Brock Lesnar. I really, really don't want that. Plus, it'll just be the same thing as when he did it to CM Punk. You have the same storyline. Needs somebody
to talk for him.
Exactly. CM Punk didn't. Yeah. That's why it didn't matter. Paul Heyman was with him. But Paul Heyman needs a stable. Tell me you don't agree with that. Paul Heyman
if he had
needs a stable of wrestlers.
Paul Heyman guys, like a bunch of them, like if you had Lesnar. I think he had Cesaro at a
He had
point. But I
Cesaro,
don't know
and
what
then that
happened.
went away.
That was the last one.
That went away. Things just kind of go away.
Yeah.
I'm taking Lesnar. I'm taking Lesnar in a total beatdown against Undertaker this Sunday.
No way. He's gonna. You know how Lesnar takes people to Suplex City?
Yeah.
This Undertaker's gonna take him to fucking Nutshot City, dude. That's gonna be a signature move. Like
Trademark that. Trademark that shit right now. Trademark that shit right now.
All right, let's write that down.
Oh,
End
man.
of the episode notes.
Nutshot City.
He's gonna take him there.
Yeah.
And well, how I see it happening in my mind is Undertaker wins this. And then the feud will continue. That'll set up the rubber match at hopefully WrestleMania between those guys.
Yeah.
And, hopefully Undertaker wins and he could ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
If he's what, 50 years old now, and
I don't know. He's getting up there.
he's I don't know how much more wrestling he can do. So.
Yeah, I just think that his last match is going to be at WrestleMania against somebody. I don't know who it's going to be.
Well,
I think it's
Sting.
You know what, Sting is the rumor, which would be a good match for 50-year-olds to kind of
Yeah, I guess, but
well, I didn't think that Sting would do that well with WrestleMania last year against Triple H. But
I didn't think so either.
He
He
actually
looked good.
surprised me. Yeah, he was pretty good. So I think this is the first step into getting Undertaker down that road.
Mhm.
I think maybe Sting will show up somehow. You never know.
That'd be interesting.
Because a build-up is what WWE needs. WWE doesn't do any more build-ups. A few years ago when John Cena and The Rock battled at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
Cena lost, and they did a whole year a promo on a rematch.
Yeah, I remember the next day on Raw, they
Raw.
were like, all right,
Yeah.
next year we're going to have a rematch
Yep.
at WrestleMania. Like, all right.
I mean, it goes with people's short attention spans. I understand that, but for true wrestling fans like us, and many of you out there, build it up, man. Make you
Yeah,
want the
please.
match. Have more back stage segments like the Lesnar and Undertaker
Yeah.
tearing each other apart.
That's exactly why I'm
you-
so excited about this, and I think
Yeah.
this is why this is the main event.
You make us want to tune in. Speaking of that, we talk a lot about the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Within a couple episodes, we're going to talk about the Attitude Era in all its glory. We're going to talk about what it did for us as wrestling fans. We're going to talk about where it went right, where it went wrong. We were both fans of the Attitude Era, so stay tuned for an episode of that. But I'm taking Suplex City. I'm taking him.
You're
man.
taking him?
I'm
Man,
taking
I
him.
can't. I just don't see it. The Undertaker lose to him twice in a row, and then where would Lesnar go from there? There's no other opponents for him to fight.
He still needs a title, though.
He's-
He doesn't need it, but he
All right,
still
then
wants it.
You take it from when Sheamus cashes in and has.
God,
it.
I hope
You're
not.
gonna-
God,
you're
it'd
gonna
be a
be.
horrible match.
You're gonna get him, and then what? Like, you have no more viable opponents. Like, unless maybe Triple H, or if The Rock.
Well, there was talk about The Rock,
Brock
and
and Rock,
and
that'd be
Brock
crazy.
doing that. Brock Rock 2. I heard Triple H and Brock were going to go at it because of that whole feud that they had. But you're right. There's not a lot of opponents that you can throw in Brock's way and expect and think that they might win. You throw a Triple H and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I could see Triple H winning. I could see Brock winning. But you throw Sheamus in there, and if Brock Lesnar doesn't suplex City his ass out of the ring, then they shouldn't be in business.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I'm still going with Brock. I think Paul Heyman's gonna raise his hand and talk shit on Raw next week, and go from there.
I'm going Undertaker, and then the road to WrestleMania begins after that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't start too early with Road to WrestleMania. So that seems to be our lineup for SummerSlam. August 23rd, this Sunday, 4-hour show. I believe it starts at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern, for those of you on the East Coast. This was fun, man. Let's do this again.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh.
Well, how do you think Jon Stewart's gonna do? Or...
Oh, forgot. Hosting. You know what? Now that you mention it, I was actually thinking about this and it completely slipped my mind, so thanks for reminding me.
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had something to do with the championship match.
Hey, yeah.
He
He interferes in the match.
good shit.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart.
But I still like my Shield my Shield story. So
That
I'm
might
gonna
be
go.
the-
I'm
that
gonna
would
go
be
and
the better
stick.
way,
I'm gonna
but-
go and stick with that.
But if this he takes the belt to Seth Rollins' face, I'd be
Yeah.
happy with that too.
I like Stewart on the last time that he hosted Raw.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy just came off the Daily Show. It's he's a great personality.
And Seth Rollins talking all this shit. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah, it's ever think about how wrestling is just kind of transcended just being in a wrestling ring. Within the last
that's
few
crazy.
years, Rock, Cena, Triple H, Big Show. Remember when Rock did SNL a few years back, and he brought
You
Big
gotta
Show
remind me
and
which one.
Triple H
Okay, when he
and
brought
Mick
the
Foley?
wrestlers.
Man, dude, that was good.
Damn.
That was good. That was his first time that he hosted. I think he's hosted
He's
now
hosted,
since like
multiple
7 times.
now.
So shout out to The Rock, man. I mean,
Yeah,
guys,
The Rock.
guys
I
doing
think that's
a-
your favorite. So.
Yeah. Oh, Rocky is my top three. Top three,
three.
bar none. Top three.
I'd
I
put him
can't-
in my top 3.
I can't tell you the other 2. That's for later shows.
Yeah, we'll
but-
talk about that
well,
some other
we'll-
time.
Yeah, we have a lot planned, man. We have a lot planned for future episodes. But this was fun. I appreciate you sitting in front of me,
I
And,
appreciate you
shooting the
sitting
shit.
across from me. Hell yeah.
and we'll do this more often, every week. Stay tuned every Friday. We're gonna drop some knowledge on you about anything and everything WWE. This has been Shoot Sessions, hosted by yours truly, OJ, and the most awesome person in the world, Doza.
Thank you very much.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Shoot Sessions. Stay tuned, man.
Yeah,
We got a
stay
lot
tuned.
planned. We got a lot to talk about.
Next week, SummerSlam review. Come back. You're
Yep.
gonna want to hear it.
And go ahead and leave your comments down below.
Send us your
Send us your questions. Shootsessions@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to answer you. All right. Peace out, man. Take it easy.
Later.